Happy Sunday, everybody. It's hashtag Showcase Sunday. And this week's amazing Showcase Sunday is coming from the outstanding Rachel Beauchamp from Lancaster University. And Rachel, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
Yes, of course. So my name is Rachel Beauchamp. I work at Lancaster University, and I work in a business development role at the uni. My main focus is to work with organisations and get them engaged with our fantastic projects that we've got here at the university, or working with our students to help you as an organisation sort of develop something new, have some research done for you, and really sort of help your business to grow and develop. And I love Lancaster University. So I'm one of those people. I came to study here when I was 18 and I've never left. So I did my degree here. I just fell in love with the place, because I think it just has so much to offer for the people that are here, the students that come, and the community as well. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
That's amazing. It's amazing. And you've touched on a few areas what makes you unique and different, because there are lots of different providers out there showcasing different elements for businesses,
Mhm.
which you get bombarded with sometimes by different elements. And so what makes you at Lancaster University unique and different? What's your unique selling point? What is it that
I think as a university, we just have such a comprehensive offerings that what we can offer. So there are so many providers, you're right, Alison, that sort of cover lots of different aspects of what we do. But ultimately, I think here at Lancaster University, we're so huge that we cover all of those elements within one. And as a network of sort of staff here, we all talk to each other regularly. So if we can support a business, once we've finished a project with you, we'll be able to refer you on to somebody else who can work with you. Or if I can't help you, I'll probably know somebody who can, and we can support you in so many different ways. But as well as a university, we're sort of so highly ranked. We're sort of top 15 in the UK as a university, but we're world recognised. Our research output is something silly like 91% of our research at the university is classed as world ranking and world leading. And it's just so fantastic to have all this opportunity here on the doorstep right in the northwest of England that lots of people don't even think to engage with us. They think of engaging more specifically with the enterprise partnerships or sort of the councils, and not really realising that as a university we do so much more than just get people degrees.
Absolutely, and I'm testament of that, and I can say that with all my heart because I've got a prototype, my virtual reality experience, a training experience through working with your guys. Then I went on to get a management portal sorted for it, and then I've had some research and development for my training academy to help the hospitality and businesses to recruit and retain teams to be able to move forward. So I've gone through all the journey that you've just mentioned with amazing results, which has really opened my eyes because I didn't know initially. But, it came from working on the Cumbria, the Innovation Food and Drink Forum. And I started with that and then ended up hearing about everything that you do. And I thought, wow, this is incredible that you can offer so much to businesses. And this was pre-pandemic when I first initially was introduced to you guys. And you was talking about 3D printers, which I'd never heard of at the time. This is a good 5 years ago, and you just think, wow, that was a game changer then. And then it became the norm
Yeah.
for masks and everything through the pandemic. But it's incredible the array of opportunities and the network that you have within your university who you can call on for help and support. And just quickly, can you touch on some of the different offerings? Because I've just mentioned 3D printers, but there's engineering, there's all sorts of things, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. And I think sort of your experience is a really good example of that, is that you've come in on one of this sort of almost training programs that we've got here in the management school, which is where I'm in at the minute, where they do training and workshops and interactive activities to help you develop as a leader in your area. But then we have experienced software developers that you can call upon, whether that's through a student project or one of sort of our projects like the Cumbria Innovations platform, where they can help develop a new product for you. And we've got that in computing, we've got engineers, we've got physicists, we've got chemists, all helping to develop something new there. But then you can tap into a longer research collaboration, maybe with a PhD student who could work with you for a massive piece of work over, say, a 3-year PhD. But then we also have sort of the engaging with students for internships. So if you've just got a small project that you want students to complete for you, we've got facilities to engage with our science and technology students, or our arts students, or marketing students for an internship or a year-long placement. Or if you've got a permanent role that you're looking to sort of develop and grow your business, we can get that out to students as a graduate opportunity. And it's just all these many touch points that you can engage with this, and we can sort of help you through the entire cycle of your business, right from that initial idea, turn it into something usable and practical that's helping you.
Yeah, because my virtual reality training experience, I went through the prototype experience, and then I actually hired the developer who'd been working on it. I hired him personally in the business to bring it up to a level where I could actually then take it to pitches throughout the industry, and also through investment opportunities. So there was a lot more that I then went through the full cycle, because I actually took advantage when once you're in, you sort of know everything. But I think this is why I wanted to get you on Showcase Sunday, to showcase, well, what you do. It's not just a one size fits all type element of university as we know it. It's actually a good array of different products, facilities and services. And that leads me on to, how is that relevant in the hospitality industry, but in business in general? Because I work with businesses who are in lots of different industries now, not just hospitality. My specialism's hospitality, but in business. So how, you've mentioned a few items, but what is it that you could help and support the industry with?
Yeah, I think so. It's not just for hospitality. What we do is open to all and can really benefit all, like you said there, Alison. So I think it's just having those opportunities there. You have a business idea. So many of your business leaders that you're speaking to and that you're working with all the time that are listening to this today will have ideas, that they just might not have the time or the capacity right now to do something about it. And we do. That's what we can help you with. So we can take the idea that you've got, that's something that you've wanted to do for years, or would just like to investigate to see where it goes. We have the time and capacity to do that with you. So you might find there's an idea that you've just wanted some market research doing into it, but haven't had the chance. You can work with us on a student project, and we can get a group of students to go off and do that market research for you. You might find that it leads somewhere fantastic and somewhere that you do want to explore. Or you might find that actually it's just a bit of a dead end and we're not going to go down that route. But at least you've done that research now. At least you've sort of been able to tick that off, and it's not just niggling away in your brain. So if we can do that, so just talk to us, find out how we can help you, because like I said, if I can't, I'm pretty sure I'll know somebody else up here that will.
That's the beauty of it. And it is the other thing that I would also mention with regard to that, anybody who's thinking about a product, facility or service that, or something that's been bugging them, in the fact that something that's frustrating that they've not been able to do because there's nothing out there, that's an innovation project, that somebody could actually develop a prototype and help you along your way, which will get you into a really fast-paced area and starts movement and energy in that area to focus on it. And you're right, the amount of time, the research I had done on the training academy was mind-blowing, and I worked with international students to give me an international perspective on what the training academy, what was needed in the training academy throughout the world. So it didn't stop me in the UK then.
I think that's so I'm glad you mentioned that, and I probably should have mentioned it ourselves, is that as a university, we do have students from all over the world here for us. So it's good to get that different perspective, that when you're talking to your friends or your peers, quite often you have very similar backgrounds and very similar ideas, and you're just bouncing the ideas on. But if you can get the perspective from a 23-year-old Indian student and a 41-year-old Chinese graduate, and having these people from all over the world come in and say, actually, but why are you doing it like that? And they can ask the questions that sort of we would never think to ask sometimes, and it's really good to get those different perspectives.
Absolutely. I found it gold dust, and you know, and I just thought, gosh, that's really opened my eyes on so many levels, because I'm now not just narrowed in one area in the UK. I've now got the opportunity to actually have this everywhere else in the world. And I know I've been working in the US for a bit, but it's just interesting to see the different perspectives from the different nationalities and the different cultures of what you need to do to adapt and engage in a different way. And I just thought, wow, that's incredible. And that, you know, the other thing I wanted to bring up as well is some of it's funding, some of it's funded, some of it's partly funded, and some of it you pay for, but you're not paying like my developer. I didn't pay what I would normally pay a developer. I paid a lower cost because he was part of a learning experience as well. But we both engage really well. And the other question, Rachel, would be, what does somebody who who's thinking about it? I know they can contact you, but what investment do they need to make? And realistically, it's just clarity and time, isn't it? But I guess that
Yeah,
does that go on to our 5 top tips, or
it doesn't, but I think it's we have to say that it is clarity and time, that we can't work with you or for you if you're not going to engage back with us.
yeah,
And so the way that we can really benefit with the agreement over the activities that we're doing is that you have to put in the time as well. It's not always about money, but if we want clarification on something, if we want a question to answer, that you're there to answer that and engage and support the students in that respect. There's nothing worse than you sending us off with a task and then never responding to emails
yeah.
and things. It's sort of, because it's fantastic that you get the benefit of it, but when you're working with our students, they're really going to benefit from working on this project as well. So we want them to have as comprehensive experience and as positive experience as possible.
And it is important. I mean, the time I invested on the projects that I've worked on was so beneficial. You know, I spent the time with the students actually going through exactly what I wanted, and then the check-ins, which is
Yeah.
really important, because sometimes what you're you're anticipating what they're going to be doing can be different to what they've heard. So you have to have those check-ins to make sure it's on the right track. And I found that incredible, especially when you get statistics and figures that you can then use as part of your marketing afterwards. And you just think, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really, really, really exciting, I think, to see what you can get out of it. And sometimes, as long as you're having those regular check-ins, it's really important. But you might find that as the project progresses, it does go in a different way to what you expected based off
Yeah.
the research and the findings that you've had. But as long as you're having those regular check-ins, it's not a surprise for you then. The last thing we want is for sort of you to be expecting A and then you get C without any sort of idea of that's where it's gone.
So that leads us to as always, we always ask our 5 top tips to all our Showcase Sunday panelists. So what 5 top tips have you got for us, Rachel, today?
Yeah, so my first one is just the idea of engaging and collaborating with others. It's so important to see what is out there, talk to people and find out how you can engage, how you can collaborate. And sort of number 2 of my top tips feeds into that as well. And it is this idea of sort of network I've written down. And I think for a lot of us, the idea of networking makes you go, oh, that's horrible, and you have sweaty palms and worrying about what networking is. But if thinking about it just as a targeted conversation, meeting new people, finding people that are doing similar things to you or have similar ideas to you, it's much nicer than sort of just the idea of a bunch of stuffy people in suits in a room awkwardly drinking coffee from a cup. And it's meeting new people and networking and finding out what's going on is so important. Number 3, as taking advantage of opportunities. So seeing what comes up to you and just say yes, because if it goes somewhere fantastic, brilliant. If it goes somewhere and it's a bit of a flop, at least you've tried. And everything isn't going to go perfect all the time, but take advantage of that opportunity and see where it takes you, because it's this idea of you always regret the things that you didn't do rather than regretting the things that you did do. And when there's these opportunities here in front of you, try it. What have you got to lose, really? Number 4, I've put about thinking beyond your bubble, because I find that a lot of people don't really engage with us as a university because they instinctively think, oh, that's not for me. A university is something else. A university is where people get degrees. It's very high level research. And yes, it is all those things, but we do also do lots of fantastic things to engage with businesses that fit within what you do. So think beyond the obvious, think beyond your initial bubble of people that you know, and reach out and see what else is out there. And sort of my last one is number 5, is really important. It's quite cheesy, but it's believe in yourself and believe in the ideas that you've got, because you've got to this stage now as a business owner working in industry because of who you are, and you need to trust that you have good ideas. Nobody knows yourself and nobody knows your business better than you, so believe in that. So if you've had an idea that you think, oh, I think this could be quite good, but I'm not too sure, don't get rid of that sort of negativity around it and just think this could be quite good. Let's investigate it. Let's see what happens and let's see where it goes.
I love that. And it's so true. Every one of those points is so incredibly true and very powerful. People hear certain elements all the time, but what they don't realize is how vital and crucial it is. I see many business owners who say, well, we would have taken it that way, but COVID happened, or we would have done this, but we had a crash. And you just think, gosh, in what I call it a season, we all have certain seasons in business, and in the winter season where it's tough going, that's the opportunity to actually make the best, because when you look back in history in patterns of business, the top businesses that have been the most successful in the world are the ones who started in the winter season. In an economic crash, in a pandemic, and it's because when you can start a business in tough times, you're more likely to fly in the spring, summer, and autumn, where you're reaping the rewards. And it's so incredibly true. And when you look at it like that, believe in yourself and actually test it out, because I'm testament to that. I had an idea. It'll be over 11 years ago now. I was pregnant with my daughter, my firstborn, and I had a cracking idea in the hospitality industry that would be brilliant. And it came from a frustration. And when I initially had the conversation with Lancaster University on the Cumbria Forum Food and Drink, they said, oh, Alison, if you'd only just been 6 years earlier. And I said, why? And I'd got the full application of the patent and everything, not finished, because I had my baby then and got busy. But I had all the drawing and everything. So I showed it to the guy who was looking to do the prototype. And he said, that was one of my first jobs with a lady who was struggling, and now she's a multimillionaire. And I went, ah. Now I looked at it and thought, actually, if she just does this, she might be a multi-billionaire. What on earth is she doing? But that's testament in the fact that act when you have that idea. Do not wait, because somebody else will crack on and do it. And don't wait. So that's the biggest lesson there. Yeah, but your top tips are great. Thank you. And that leads us to, how have you worked? I mean, we've mentioned a couple of things with me, how you've helped, examples, how you've helped industry save time, add value, and you've mentioned about the university researches and help with marketing. So there's the industry right now is struggling for staff. We know that it's a crisis that's been going on for quite a while. How can you help, or how have you helped anybody in the past for any of these elements that they might be thinking about right now? It might be crossing the mind and thinking, this sounds great, Rachel. We're going to get in touch, but what are we getting in touch for? Or is this something that we can use?
Yeah, and I think recruitment is a really interesting one at the minute because it's a worry for so many people in the industry. And unfortunately, it's not just in the hospitality industry that's struggling with recruitment, it's sort of across the board in so many different industries. And we've had lots of conversations recently about how we can help with that and what things that we can do. And we've got specialists in the university, sort of in the management school, particularly sort of around recruitment and retention of staff, that quite often people do the same thing time and time again. You get the same job advert, you stick it out there on a job board, you hope that applications come in, they don't, you worry, you look at it, you tweak it a bit and then send it out. And you're just going through the same motions again and again and again. And we're really encouraging people at the minute to step back and take a proper look at your recruitment strategy and what it is that you're offering to staff, sort of what the full package. It's not just about where they're working and how much they're getting paid. It's the entire package of benefits that come with that and the strategy that you've got for that recruitment. And we have student projects here in the management school with management school students, HR students that could maybe look into that for you and help you develop a recruitment strategy. Well, maybe you've got the recruitment, but you're not able to keep staff. So then we're looking at the retention and maybe help you with a retention strategy. And it's these ideas that I know so many of you would love to have, but you just don't have the time. You're just firefighting everything. You don't necessarily have the time to sit there and develop something like that. But that's where we do. We have the capacity to do that. Our students would massively benefit from being able to write a recruitment strategy for an organisation that can feed into their learning, it can feed into their modules, it can feed into their course, but then it can also help you as an output as well. And it's those ideas, it's the time saving for you and where it can offer benefit for us.
Absolutely. And it is incredible, the time saving and the focus on what, because they are focused, it's part of their curriculum, so they need to get a really good score with it, so they will give it everything that they've got. And the thing, what if someone was sitting on the fence right now, I'm hoping that my experience will have helped. But what other people have you got comments of, or testimonials past and present? What would your current people who are working with you, or past people, what would they say if someone was sitting on the fence thinking, is this something I want to give my time or invest in?
Yeah, I think they'd say yes, it is. It's just this opportunity that you don't have. It's this opportunity to access the specialists here, specialist software developers, specialist engineers, specialist management consultants, all these people that you might not come into contact with in your day-to-day life that can develop something new for you and your organisation. So it's an opportunity. And I don't know, I'm going to say this now and I'll probably get into trouble, but it's not just Lancaster University. I know you're working with organisations across the UK and across the world now, Alison, that's fantastic. But it's not just Lancaster University that offers this. All universities across the country offering support to businesses, and they want to engage with businesses. So if Lancaster isn't the most suitable university for you to engage with, look at where your local universities are and reach out to them, because there'll be people like me in all those universities across the country that are looking for student projects, they're looking for ways to engage, and they're looking for ways to help you. So Lancaster's fantastic and the best, come to me first. But if you do feel like Lancaster just is too far away, or you want to help your local university, reach out to them, because the opportunities are there. You just have to know where to look, really.
And just to clarify, because you cover a wide range, which really shocked me. You don't just cover Lancaster, Lancashire, you cover Cumbria. You actually cover quite a way. So do you want to just elaborate on that so that people are very clear what you cover, but what you can help with as well?
Yeah, so at Lancaster University, for a lot of our activities, we will support anybody across the UK, even globally, for student projects. So for example, in the management school, if you're looking to get a 2-week oh no, a 3-month undergraduate project, so a group of 5 undergraduates working with you on a specific research project. We can do that with any organisation across the UK to do that because of things like, because of what's happened with the pandemic, we're also used to working remotely now. Students can do desk-based research from here in Lancaster and support organisations anywhere in the world with that. So there's no restrictions on some of those projects. Where we have some restrictions is where we've got funding from the European Union or from the government, which specifies what areas we can work with for certain projects. So we've got opportunities that are Cumbria exclusive, we've got opportunities that are Lancashire exclusive, but we also work wider with Greater Manchester. We've got opportunities with Cheshire and Warrington as well for funded projects. And then if you're looking to do anything specifically with environmental impact and sort of low carbon activities for your organisation, we've got a project that's essentially all northwest. So anything Cumbria down to Liverpool, it's northwest opportunities. And it's just, yeah, there's so many different touch points with that. So that's anything that's got a low carbon element to it, which will come up in hospitality all the time. You're going to be working about what you're doing and how you can make everything much more energy efficient and reduce the environmental footprint of your work. And if you're based in the Northwest and you're wanting a project in that area, you can engage with us through sort of the EcoI Northwest project.
And that is crucial right now, especially as energy prices are all over the show, due to go up in October again, unless something drastically changes. And I know you can actually help and support people to have a look. That's why I got involved initially with the Cumbria Innovation Food and Drink, to innovate how we can bring Cumbria into an ecosystem, a circular economy, an ecosystem where we can really homegrow everything and make sure that we are carbon neutral, net zero, you know, the whole package for food and drink, which was what all of us as Cumbria business leaders were brought together to do. And it is interesting because that is all under your roof. And it'd be crazy, even if they were down, say, in London or the South Coast or something, to have the conversation with you just to see what you can do and whether you can say, well, actually, it's not what we do. However, there is a university nearby, and this is what, you know, it's all about that networking experience as well. But you never know, because I think the, you know, what, when you alluded earlier about your students can work everywhere, one of my students on the research project had to go back to India, and she actually dialed in to speak to me online from India to discuss the project that she was working on with the rest of the team there. And it was just incredible that we were just all together online thrashing out the masters, but my research study, which was incredible. So it's, for me, it's no brainer. Are there any things that people, you know, if they're a solo business, or if they're self-employed, or if they're a limited company, are there any restrictions on anything, or would you say come and talk to us anyway, just in case?
I'd say come and talk to us anyway, because different projects, depending on what funding we've got, there's different restrictions around that. But overall, sort of, we do support organisations right from a sole trader right through to sort of multinational organisations around the world. So we do work with anyone and everyone in between, but depending on the specific project, if it's got funding, there's often funding restrictions that have been placed on that by the EU or the government, but we will know that in more detail sort of on the specific projects.
Fantastic. So, as always, we put all your links or your contact details at the end of the interview, end of our Showcase Sunday. But what's the best way to get in touch with you, Rachel? What would you prefer people to do?
I'd prefer you just to drop me an email. So what I'll do is I'll leave the link to my email address with you, Alison, and the website, which gives sort of a really good overview of what we offer to businesses at the university. I'll leave that. But just if you have an idea, just get in touch with me. Just say, hi, Rachel, this is my idea. I'd love some help. I might not be able to help you, but I will know somebody who can. So just reach out to me. via email, and that's definitely the best way to get reached.
Fantastic. And do you want to just say what your email out is anyway, even though we put it on at the end? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's no problem. So my email is r.beauchamp@lancaster.ac.uk. And Beauchamp is one of those very tricky names to pronounce because everybody calls me Beauchamp.
I know, and I realised that at the beginning of the interview. I just went Beauchamp because I'd seen how it's spelt. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's no problem. I'm used to it now. I generally don't correct people because I understand why you do that. But yeah, it's Beauchamp. Sometimes I wish I'd never changed my name when I got married. My maiden name was Armstrong, and it was much easier. Armstrong is a much easier name to say, but I did change my name, and we're stuck with it now.
Oh, bless you. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Rachel. It's been an honour and pleasure to have you on our Showcase Sunday today. And we will put all the links to Rachel at the end of the Showcase Sunday, so watch out for that. She just mentioned her email address, so don't hesitate to get in touch. Because you never know where it could lead to, what opportunities that could come across, and learning experience as well. So certainly get in touch with any idea that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I also just say feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. When we do get extra opportunities, I often post them and share them there as well. So it's just another way to see what's going on at the university as well through my LinkedIn. So I'll make sure it's shared with you too.
So, and that's under just your name on the LinkedIn?
Just on my name on LinkedIn. I'm quite active on there, so I do quite like to share what's going on.
Fantastic. So don't miss that opportunity as well. Fantastic. Oh, thanks, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me, Alison.
It's a pleasure. Happy Sunday, everybody, and enjoy. Take care.
See you.